A view to the west from the downtown cam in Fargo today shows very dreary skies hanging over the Fargo area. It's going to stay this way all day. We'll have some light snow or rain this afternoon, very light, however. The wind's going to pick up from the southeast to 15 to 30 miles an hour, a very unspring-like day on this Friday. Welcome to InforumTV News. I'm Robin Hubner. Here's what's happening. U.S. Senator Heidi Heitkamp's announcement of her support of gay marriage today has social and traditional media buzzing. She said in part, the federal government should no longer discriminate against people who want to make lifelong, loving commitments to each other or interfere in personal, private, and intimate relationships. She also said the makeup of families is changing, but the importance of family is enduring. Heitkamp, along with another freshman Democratic Senator Joe Donnelly of Indiana, joined the growing chorus of lawmakers who say they support gay marriage. Their statements were issued just moments apart this morning. On Twitter, the North Dakota Republican Party posted a tweet saying Heitkamp says one thing but does another. It says in May of 2012, an election year, Heitkamp called gay marriage a distraction, and instead the focus should be jobs and the economy. Authorities say one person has died and more than a couple dozen people are injured, including elementary school kids in a school bus rollover in northern Illinois. The local sheriff there says everyone aboard the bus survived the crash in Wadsworth, that's 45 miles north of Chicago. Officials at two hospitals say they've received patients in good to serious condition. A video from the scene, as you see here, it shows the bus on its side with a couple of mangled cars nearby and debris scattered in a nearby farm field. That accident happened around 8 o'clock this morning, about a mile from Newport Elementary School, which has about 400 students. A New York federal judge has ruled that the Food and Drug Administration must make emergency contraceptives available to women of all ages within 30 days. In Judge Edward Corman's order, he criticized the FDA for failing to engage in rulemaking to adopt an age-restricted marketing regime. He says the case isn't about the potential misuse of the so-called morning-after pill by 11-year-olds. He says the contraceptives would be among the safest drugs sold over the counter and that the number of 11-year-olds likely to use the drugs was minuscule, as he said. The athletic director at Rutgers University may be on the way out over that controversy surrounding its now former basketball coach. A person familiar with the decision says Tim Pernetti has been fired, and the official announcement will come this afternoon. Pernetti dismissed basketball coach Mike Rice Wednesday after a videotape aired showing him shoving, grabbing, and throwing balls at players in practice and using gay slurs. The scandal has now cost Pernetti his job some 5 months after he did not fire Rice when that video first became available. The Mayo Clinic is saying that the CDC is recommending the Tdap vaccine for all pregnant women regardless of when they had their last Tdap vaccine. This comes as whooping cough makes a comeback in the U.S. The vaccine offers protection from whooping cough, tetanus, and diphtheria, and ideally should be given between 27 and 36 weeks of pregnancy. Whooping cough can be especially dangerous, even life-threatening for infants. And getting the Tdap vaccine during pregnancy can help protect pregnant women from the infection and might also help protect the baby after birth. In Lisbon, North Dakota, they are rallying around the Scenic. The beloved movie theater is the oldest continually running movie house in America. But the demand to switch movie theaters to digital costs tens of thousands of dollars, and it is shutting many theaters down. As WDAY 6 reporter Kevin Wallivan tells us, the people of Lisbon are coming to the rescue.
Al Michaels is one of those guys who can do it all. Retired from Bobcat, he now threads movies on his own projector. But it's tough these days, with almost all theaters nationwide switching over to digital.
It's around $95,000. That includes the projector system, the sound system.
Al and his 35mm must wait for days, weeks, to get their hands on a movie.
They're just not making 35mm prints. They're making, like I said, one print of a movie for our region.
Al and his wife Betty have put their heart and soul into the Scenic Theater in Lisbon. They gutted it and remodeled the theater once they bought it.
It's hard for me because I know how hard he's worked.
Old decorative lights are up, rescued from a pile of junk on a basement dirt floor. The bulbs change colors. Here in Lisbon since 1911, the Scenic Theater has hosted the best. Movie bills long before World War I. Shows that boasted 2 hours of tingling action. Dorothy and Oz, Marlon Brando, John Wayne, all the greats have graced the screen. A centerpiece on Main Street in Lisbon. The Scenic packed them in. Cars line the street.
We have fun. We have fun doing it.
The dilemma now? Paying thousands for the digital costly conversion. The doors have never been so close to closing.
One of our studios just doubled the cost for a 35 millimeter print.
Now the people of Lisbon have stepped in, forming a new group called Save Our Scenic. The plan is to raise thousands of dollars so the city can buy the digital equipment and lease it back to the theater owners.
It's local. It's the oldest theater that has been running the longest in the United States. It's just such a treasure for our community and the smaller communities around us.
What does that groundswell of support mean to Betty?
A lot.
Rich history here at the Scenic.
And we're the fourth family to own a movie theater here, so in its 102-year history.
Al and Betty want to stay. After all, they still use real butter on the popcorn. The machine from the 40s. It doesn't get any better.
Wonderful. We put our heart and souls into it, and now to see other people don't want it to have to close, and especially the enthusiasm they have, it's really exciting.
Now the families who have spent their Saturday nights together here hope the Scenic survives another century as a fixture on Main Street and holding on to its reign as the oldest king of the theaters. From Lisbon, Kevin Wallman, WDAY 6 News.
Save Our Scenic is taking donations. There is a link to their Facebook site on WDAY.com. It is another busy day at Sandbags Central as Fargo prepares for a major flood. The city says 151,000 sandbags were filled yesterday, bringing the total so far to 261,000. It's more than a quarter of the way to that goal of 1 million sandbags needed for Fargo and for Cass County. Now, if giving back to your community isn't enough to get you to Sandbags Central, the promise of good food might. The Red Cross is teaming up with 4 restaurants to serve food to the volunteers. And here's the lineup. It sounds very good. Today, Mezzaluna is going to be serving pasta at Sandbags Central. Next Tuesday, Maxwell's will feed the volunteers. Next Thursday, the 11th of April, Rhombus Guys will be donating 45 pizzas. And next Saturday, that's April 13th, it'll be Famous Dave's providing the meal. As always, the Red Cross will provide snacks, drinks, and other food as well until that 1 millionth sandbag is produced for our flood fight. Let's get our Friday weather check now from WDAY Storm Tracker meteorologist Daryl Richardson.
Good morning, everyone, and some precipitation is beginning to show up now on Doppler. The thing is, I'm not getting any reports of any of this actually hitting the ground, and probably because the air is so dry, outside of a few flurries, very little, if any of it, is reaching the ground, and that's just going to be the case much of the day. So the precipitation likely is just going to be more on the scattered side this afternoon. A little bit better shot of seeing some accumulating snow in the northern end of the Red River Valley. High temperature near 37 here in Fargo-Moorhead. Southeast wind will be picking up to 15 to 25 miles per hour, perhaps even stronger than that at times. So it will turn out to be a pretty windy afternoon. Tonight, a little bit better shot of some precipitation, mainly in the form of rain. Problem is, notice forecasting lows around freezing, so this easily could be a little bit of freezing rain. Amounts look light, but again, doesn't take much to slick up the roads. Good news is it's April. Anything that would slick up the roads briefly tonight would all melt away tomorrow in a hurry. High temperatures this weekend around 40. You notice another rain symbol on the right-hand side of the icon on Sunday. That's for late in the day, Sunday into Sunday night. A system very similar to what's going through us today into tonight. Probably light, looks a little bit warmer, so thinking that the next one will be just more rain rather than a mix, but still a little bit of precipitation tonight and tomorrow, and again on Sunday night. In between, much of Saturday, the first half of Sunday is looking dry. The temperatures continue to cool into next week with highs most days only between 35 and 40, like what we're expecting this afternoon.
Thank you, Daryl. That snow melt proceeding at a snail's pace. Check out today's forum for a story about local interracial couples. Is Fargo-Moorhead a welcoming community for them? And tonight on WDAY 6 News, Fargo welcomes some of the area's best cowboys. Thank you so much for joining us for InforumTV News. Have a wonderful Friday and a great weekend. See you next time.
Took us